So hey everyone, and welcome to Prescott, Arizona. My name is Rich Charpentier, and if you're checking this video out, you're probably interested in all things drone, and you're probably interested in building your own drone business. So today we are at a location, a client site that I've been working with since July. Here we are in November, and you can see behind me we've got the construction going on. We've got some folks up on the scaffolding. We had some bad weather earlier this week, so it put them a couple days behind, and now they're out here catching up. So if you can't tell, it's a little cold today. I've got my North Face jacket on. When I got up, it was 29 degrees. The truck was encased in ice, and I had to get everything ready in the freezing cold. By the time I got out here, I was trying to let things warm up a little bit so that the batteries wouldn't be cold and I could get my flights done. So that's what's happened here today. And so this project I'm using two different apps on the iPhone. And so I am using Maps Made Easy, Map Pilot, for doing a 2D orthomosaic for the site. And after the 2D orthomosaic, I have several flights through the construction area, above the construction area, and around the construction area. Those flights were performed with Litchi's app using the waypoint missions. So I pre-programmed some waypoint missions to take photos and pre-programmed some waypoint missions to take video. And as you can see, this is kind of an interesting site. It's pretty tight. There are other buildings around here, so it's been a challenge to not bother the neighbors and be a good guy about making sure that nobody else is impacted while we're doing our job here. So we've been doing a once a month flight for them, and here's how the job first came together. So in July, I got a phone call, Phoenix number, and I was asked if we could do some progression work for a new construction location. The builders who contacted me, they were actually requested to document the build out, and drone pilot was suggested. So they got in touch with me and asked me for a price right off the bat, of course. So I started asking some questions, which is something, it's a general theme that you're going to see here on this channel, and in my classes, is always ask questions first. As it turned out, the person I was talking to wasn't quite certain about all of their needs. They just knew that they were requested to document the site in this format. So I listed off several options and several possibilities, and I also asked for the address of this location and offered to take a ride to it to check out the location to get an idea of how much I would be charging per visit to put all this together. So I got the address, I came out, I took a look around the site, I met with the site foreman, and he said he had recognized me from one of my videos off of my website, so that was pretty funny. Once I gathered the information that I needed, I made a call back and came up with my proposal for them, since that we were doing a once a month flight, and it would be at least 6 months, potentially longer. So we hashed everything out, and I got the job. So the job came from my website. So one of the big things that you're going to want to focus on is, how am I reaching out to people? Am I getting their attention? If they're searching for Prescott drone services or Arizona drone services, are they going to find me? Am I going to show up on the front page of Google? Well, that depends on your search engine optimization and the level of work that you put into your website. So it's not just knowing how to do this drone work, knowing how to do the flights, how to do the 2D and 3D models. It's also your outreach and your presence online, because that's how everybody finds us now, right? So in upcoming videos, we're going to talk more about the websites and also the deliverables. So here today, here's what we did in order. Number one, I flew the location with Map Pilot from Maps Made Easy to do a two-dimensional model, orthomosaic model. After that model was completed, that was just about a full battery. Even though we're only on a little over 5 acres, I say, this took a full battery because I had it flying really slow, and I had some pretty large overlap because I really like these two-dimensional maps to come out well, just so that people can see from July to August to September to October to November the changes that have happened on the overall site, and that 2D orthomosaic is a great way to do it. After that flight, I swapped out the battery, and I actually flew manually through the center of the construction site. Now, why did I fly manually? I have a saved flight on Litchi called Middle, where it's flying up the middle between the buildings. Well, with the changes to the construction site recently, with some container trucks back there blocking the path of what I'd originally done, I decided this morning that I would fly manually and mark waypoints as I flew up the center of this property. And you're going to see that video. You're going to see that flight up the center, the final flight. You're not going to see me setting it up because it's move, 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 stop, set a waypoint, move, 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 turn, set a waypoint. So it's very jerky and not smooth and not something that you're going to present in the end. But after laying out that route, I then turned the mission on, told the mission to play through. And when the mission played through, I got this nice, smooth fly through, and I got around the new objects that are in my way. Every time that you come to one of these construction sites, if you're working a construction site, you need to double check everything. There could be cranes, there could be cargo containers, there could be workers. You need to make sure that you check out your surroundings and your area before you fly. Always do a survey of the property every time, especially if you're doing progression work, because progression work implies changes over time. With that in mind, you've got to pay attention to what's changed in here. And an awful lot's changed in here, and you'll see that in some of the video. So now that I have finished out the flights, I did 5 different Litchi missions. One of those Litchi missions was for still photos. The other Litchi missions were for different video around the property. Video that I've taken in July, video that I've taken in August, September, October, and now in November. And I can take each of those videos because they're flying the same path, and I can overlay them to show progression over time. So that's really exciting, and that is one of the most powerful features of Litchi's waypoints. You can do similar things with Ground Station Pro's waypoints, but in other videos, I've already said this and I'll say it here. While I like Ground Station Pro for a lot of its features, sometimes I'm not very satisfied with the waypoint missions where I'm doing video because it's a little too jerky. It's a little too stop, turn, even with curves turned on. With curves turned on with Litchi, it's very smooth. It gets you cinematic quality video in the transitions as you're moving through sites, and it just looks better. Now, I'll do some more testing in future videos. We'll do a little more demonstration with Ground Station Pro as well, and maybe we can get those curves to work a little better. But in the meantime, when I'm setting up projects and I know that I need smooth cinematic video for some of my progression work, I know that Litchi is a go-to app for me, and then it's going to work time and time again. I would love it if I had one super app on an iPhone or on an iPad that covered everything that Litchi covers, Map Pilot, Ground Station Pro. Every one of them has their strong suits. So don't dismiss any out of hand, because there might come a time when you're doing a project and you're going to say to yourself, oh man, I want this feature. Well, that feature could probably be on another application. So we did all these flights. You're going to see some of the layouts from Litchi. You're going to see some of the layouts on Litchi's Mission Hub. And you're going to see the layout of the flight that I did with Map Pilot to create the ortho mosaic as well. You're going to see all of that. What I'm going to be doing next is I'm actually going to be heading back to the office, and I'll be offloading this video to put together. But I'm going to be doing the next segment of this series today. And what we're going to go through is we're going to go through the offloading of the stills and the video, and then the stills of the site and a couple other little things. I'm going to offload those. I'm going to organize those. I'm going to use a program called Kino to help me organize the images and the video for presentation and for handoff to the client. So you're going to see all of that. And then we'll also be going through the post-processing of this site together. So post-processing implies that we're going to be putting that ortho mosaic together. We're going to be putting those videos together. We're going to be putting those stills together, and we're going to be preparing them for an online presentation, because I actually build private password protected web pages for my clients, and I'll be showing you one of those because I have permission to show you that. So we'll be showing you how that comes together. So that's a big selling feature of my deliverables. You don't have to do it this way, but you can. And you can always ask me questions too about how I set these up. But so I hand off the images and the video to the clients. I also put together a presentation for them so that they don't have to go through all of that, because, you know, we've got architectural firms, we've got builders, we've got investment bankers. All of these organizations don't necessarily know how to assemble the videos and things. So if you offer as a deliverable to someone, hey, I'm gonna compile all this stuff, I'm gonna take all these photos for you, I'm gonna take all this video, and then I'm gonna fire it off to you on Dropbox, and it's up to you to put it all together. If they don't have somebody on staff to do that, that's a lot of work. One of the big things, one of the big reasons why people are hiring us drone pilots is to save time and to save money and to give them really usable results. So just handing off the raw stuff, while some people ask for it, I think you're doing a disservice to them without giving them a good presentation format. Now, that doesn't need to be a web page. That could be a really well put together video with the stills and the video, and have it in a really nice presentation for them, and maybe that's all they need. But I think having those web pages that they can go back to time and time again to look at those comparisons is really valuable. And so I'm making fun of myself in my head right now for waving my hands all around. Sorry about that. But so there are a lot of things to consider on any of these projects. You're going to need video editing skills, you're going to need your drone flight skills, you're going to need your practical drone knowledge, you're going to need your drone safety information. By the way, I already put it away in the truck, but I always have my Part 107 card with me. And since I've done my renewal, I have a copy of that renewal as well, so that it shows that I'm legal and legit, because people will approach you on these construction sites. They will have questions as to what you're doing. Not all of the people who are working here are aware of your presence on the site. So it's another thing you always need to notify folks and make sure that you're not flying over them. So today, while they were working on the scaffolding, I made sure to keep the drone well away from them. That's the construction crew that's here today. There's nobody else on the site, just the guys catching up from our bad weather that we've had here. And like I said, yeah, it's cold today. I've got my orange safety vest in the truck, but I think that this screaming bright yellow jacket says, hey, watch out for me as well. So just as good as the safety vest. All right, everybody, I hope that you're charged up just from seeing this video and what we're gonna be doing next. I'm pretty charged up about this. This adds a lot of time to my process, but I think it's worthwhile sharing this with you, sharing this with other drone pilots. And the reason why I think it's worthwhile is we've all got these questions. We're all at different points in our drone businesses, and we all always have questions. I'm still looking stuff up regularly. I follow a lot of other drone YouTubers, and I get a lot of great information out of them. And I'm just trying to add to the knowledge pool here to help you guys out, especially if you're building the business. So I hope this was fun and interesting, and look forward to the next part. Well, the next part's kind of boring. It's offloading stuff and, you know, organizing things in such a way that you can find things easily and jump right to them. After we get all that organization done, then we start building our deliverables and assembling the deliverables into the Dropbox format where they've got everything, and then into that customized web page that shows them the deliverables they asked for in a nice compact package that then they can send off to their investment bankers or their venture capitalists, whoever's backing the project, and they can see really quickly, hey, this is what happened with the site. All right, we'll see you in the next segment. We'll be back in the office, and I'm hoping to be warmer. I did unzip the jacket because it's finally warm enough. My hands were freezing. By the way, don't forget to get gloves that you can actually still use on tablets. You know, the little gloves that's got the fingertips that can work on the tablets. I was using that earlier this morning because it was just so darn cold. I didn't want to keep my hands out because I've been outside for over an hour and a half here. Normally this site takes me about an hour, but since we were doing all this additional stuff for the channel, that's what's going on. And for all I know, the video here is horrible because I widened out the exposure and I widened out the focus point. And we are using Filmic Pro, by the way, with the Rode Wireless Go. And so that's what the little fuzzy thing is. So just testing all this out as we're building more of this content into the channel. All right, everybody, we'll see you in the next segment. We'll be organizing everything, and then we'll start assembling.